Hey guys, I just got back from SHOT Show 2019, and one of the biggest surprise products of that show was this, the Mossberg MC1 SC. It's a single stack fed, subcompact, semi-automatic 9mm handgun. It is a dedicated concealed carry pistol. And with any product this new that has such a critical role like concealed carry, there's some things you want to know about it before you dedicate it to your sole concealed carry weapon. So with that in mind, here are 5 things you should know about the MC1 before carrying it. Now, with most concealed carry designs, one of the biggest things people worry about is keeping it fed. And in this case, that means finding magazines for the pistol. Now with SIG's 365, that was kind of an issue initially because the mags were kind of expensive and they're proprietary. However, with Mossberg's MC1 SC, these little translucent smoked polymer magazines are actually, despite their appearance, based very much so on the Glock 43s. So much so that you can actually utilize Glock 43 magazines in your Mossberg. Why is this important? Well, for guys out there looking to immediately get their hands on some extra magazines, it means that availability is awesome. And because the Glock 43 has such a stellar reputation for reliability, it's a given that the magazines it utilize must function flawlessly. So it's great news for owners of the Mossberg MC1 because you can quickly get your hands on magazines that are tried, tested, and true. Now, another aspect to consider when dedicating a handgun for concealed carry is just how much it prints. In other words, how large is it and how easy is it to conceal? Well, rather than just give you all the numbers, which are not necessarily super helpful, I'll give you a frame of reference. The Glock 43, the Mossberg MC1's biggest competitor, is about the same size in certain ways and different in others. Let me explain. The MC1 has a slightly longer barrel than the Glock 43, and as a result of which, the overall length of the gun is slightly longer, but at the same time, the height of the pistol is actually a little bit shorter. And what about width? Well, in terms of width, there's a very, very minor difference. It's literally 0.01 inches. So basically it doesn't matter at all. So what does this mean? Well, it means that if you can conceal carry a Glock 43 or really any, ultra slim subcompact 9mm, then you can definitely conceal the MC1. And given that it has similar dimensions to the Glock 43, it's a sure thing that concealed carry gurus can either pocket carry, inside the waistband carry, or basically even deep concealment on the ankle, because this thing is tiny. When it comes to firearms, and especially concealed carry weapons, there are certain aspects of a design in which personal preference plays a very large role. And in one of those aspects are sights. Now, there are objectively better sights than others in certain regards, and when it comes to like target pistols or ARs or rifles or whatnot, but on concealed carry guns, you're working with a very short sight radius and something that is designed to be used very up close. So if you want to customize the sights on, say, a Glock 43, at least initially, you're kind of SOL. Thankfully, Mossberg's MC1 actually utilizes dovetailed iron sights, which are of an identical pattern to that of the SIG P365. Meaning that availability and selection is going to be much, much better than you would normally expect on a brand new handgun design. Now, the last thing, and arguably the most critical thing I wanted to let you guys know about before you conceal carry the MC1 is you should absolutely try to never overload the magazines. Will they function? Sometimes. What do I mean? All right, so if a shooter fills the magazine to 1 round past its suggested capacity, you have the issue of it's very difficult to fully seat inside the pistol. Kind of like when you load a magazine for an AR to 31 rounds. Can it be seated? Sort of. You really got to hit the hell out of it. Another aspect of that, another downside of that rather, is that if you've got a round already in the chamber, say you're doing a tactical reload, the increased pressure and the friction of having that additional round means that the design slide is going to struggle to go all the way back. So what you'll have is a gun that is halfway into battery and halfway not, and will probably fail to chamber the next round. In testing, I did manage to get the gun to successfully eject the spent round. However, the next round failed to fully chamber. And if you're using this as a concealed carry gun, you want to make sure you avoid that because you don't want your gun to malfunction after one shot in a gunfight. Does that mean that the gun is not suitable for concealed carry? No, not at all. It has nothing to do with it. It means you have to just be careful and fill it to the correct capacity. Well, how do I know if it's the correct capacity? That's a fair question. So when it gets to the point where the top round, doesn't want to stay at the correct feeding angle and kind of dips down, that's when you fill it beyond capacity. If you see the magazine spring inside of here compressed to the point where you can no longer see any gap between the coils, it's filled beyond capacity. Take a round out. After all, if you're that concerned with getting one more round in the chamber, carry a third mag. They're not that expensive. Now, this isn't a full in-depth review of the Mossberg MC1. I know that. The thing is, I'm actually doing a full in-depth written review with, photographs and whatnot for Firearm News in an upcoming article. So if you want the full lowdown on this gun and, all the different trials and tribulations I'm going to put it through, because I intend to put 1,000 rounds through it, be sure to pick up the, not this month, but I believe the next month's issue of Firearm News. Thanks, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more burst reviews.